Your brain is a scientific marvel, capable of incredible feats of logic and reason. But it's also prone to all sorts of bizarre and sometimes embarrassing mistakes. How can an organ that is both so powerful and so fallible actually exist? Welcome to the channel. In this video, we're going to explore some of the many ways in which your brain is a complete and utter psychopath. Our brains are perhaps the most complex objects in the known universe, and even after centuries of dedicated study, scientists still don't really know how they work. This is partly because the brain is not a static thing. It changes and adapts over time in response to new information and experiences. It's also partly because the brain does not always behave in a consistent or predictable manner. Sometimes our brains perform logical, rational analysis only to arrive at absurd conclusions. At other times, our brains appear to ignore evidence that contradicts our existing beliefs. And sometimes our brains simply make mistakes. Consider, for example, the many ways in which our brains can be fooled by optical illusions. Or think of how our brains can fill in the gaps in our perception to create a coherent and meaningful world. These are just a few examples of the many ways in which our brains can be both incredible and infuriating. So here's one way in which our brains are like a good psychopath. They are masters of rationalizing. That is, they are experts at coming up with logical reasons for why something happened, even when there is no real or obvious reason for that thing to have happened. Like take, for example, the time that you were late for an important appointment because you got lost while driving. Your brain might have convinced you that it was totally reasonable to take that particular route, even though it turned out to be a complete disaster. Or maybe you've experienced something more mundane, like a food allergy that seems to have come out of nowhere. Your brain might have convinced you that it's perfectly normal to eat peanuts, even though you've had a severe reaction to them in the past. In both of these cases, your brain has found a way to make sense of an experience that would otherwise be inexplicable. It has rationalized the situation to make it more understandable and more manageable. This ability to rationalize is what allows us to make sense of the world around us and to interact with it in a meaningful way. It's also what allows us to believe in things that aren't true, like conspiracy theories or fake news, and it's what allows us to justify our own actions, whether or not they are actually good or right. Ultimately, our brains are what allow us to be human. They are what allow us to love and lose, to hope and despair, to believe and be damned. Our brains are what make us who we are, for better or for worse. So what do you think? Are you fascinated by the brain? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to check out our other video on how memories can be both accurate and inaccurate. Thanks for watching.